People, happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm loving seeing the green. Aaron really went all out and got us with our vibes here. So all kudos to him. And I am wearing a hat that I won on folk choir tour to Texas freshman year. And I'm very proud of it. So without further ado, we will kick it off with Niels Casperson, Fisher Hall Senator, who I believe is delivering an original prayer. Niels, come on down. Oh, I should take off my hat for the prayer. Pass the back one. Yeah, you go for it. If you want to take the lapel, do it. Why not? That one does work, yes. Go for it. Just, yep, good. Beautiful, beautiful, should be good.
Mic check. Lord, may we do your work. Amen.
Amen. Very poignant, Niels. Much appreciated. You're good. All right, and we'll hand it over to Catherine to do a quick roll call. Yes, yes. Oh, you.
Will Forson, Bridget Arbuckle, Dan Law, Anoop Sunkara, Michael Murakami, Jordan Lyden, Niels Casperson, Maggie Allen, Peyton Mueller, Eliza Smith, Henry Jackson. Okay, perfect. Ben Earhart, Jason Thomas, Natalie Ortega, Molly Schrock, Lainey Teeters, Ahmed Al-Hossani, Alec Brayler, Bianca Burnett, Carson Thompson, Libby Messman, Anisha Japira, Michael Lynch, Miles Kelly, Alex Kobolowski, Patrick Lee, Grace Franco, Teresa Salazar, Henry Bates, Blake Johnson, Johnny O'Meara, Renee Pearson, beautiful, Jordan Thuralt, Sam Canova,
Here.
Ricardo Poses Garza, Connor Delaney,
Here.
Rachel Engel,
Here.
Madison Nemeth, Aaron Benavides, Minu Selvin, Mairead Pfaff,
Here.
Kurt Golden or Julia Dilhoff, Thomas Davis, Estefan Linares, and Karen Kennedy. Awesome.
Amazing. Want to keep us rolling, Catherine, with a recap of last week?
Yes, definitely. So last week we had a busy week. Minu's nomination for Student Union Treasurer was passed. David Hong's nomination for Judicial Council President was passed. And then we had 3 resolutions that were passed. SS 2021-27, a resolution voicing student concerns about Notre Dame's recent adjustments to campus life policies and calling the Campus Life Council to action. SS 2021-28, a resolution requesting a full day observance of MLK Day was passed. And then SS 2021-29, a resolution requesting benchmarks for COVID-19 protocols.
Love it. Thanks so much, Catherine. Do we have any questions, comments, concerns from the crowd on those minutes from last week?
We have one.
All right, you go for it.
I asked Minu a question before she was confirmed last time. I think what I articulated was you're going into banking, right? As in like money.
Correct.
But in the minutes it was baking. I just want to identify that that's what was written, and I wish it were true.
Sam Canova, you are ever the close reader, and I do appreciate you. All right, seeing none more. Okay, we will add that N to the minutes, and minutes approved. But you know what, Minu? I think you're really the jack of all trades. You should go into investment banking and baking. Why not both? Okay, fabulous. Thanks so much, guys. We can move on to executive announcements, of which there are many. The first being our student advisory group meeting on this upcoming Monday. Again, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, this is a student advisory group for campus reopening. So normally mostly related to COVID, but honestly, just in general about student life. We do have good folks in the room that can get those questions answered, or at least channel those in the proper places. So I'm always happy to meet for coffee, for a Zoom, as are Rachel and Aaron, to be able to channel those concerns up for you. We also have Student Government's March Madness Bracket Competition, and I see that Ian Baker, our co-director of Student Life, is here, so I will give him a big shout out for that one. It is in sponsorship with Coca-Cola, which is very exciting. If our campus wins, we will get to donate $5,000 to the shirt fund, which is only a great thing. I believe the first place prize is a $500 flight voucher for these post-pandemic times of ours, as well as a Grubhub gift card, right, Ian, or AirPods? Okay, I messed up the order, but great prizes for a great cause. I know we have some basketball fiends out there, so would encourage you to participate. This one is new. I actually subbed it out with the student government application, which closed at 5 p.m. today. So hope many of you got some apps in there. But through my work on the Faculty Senate and through Aaron's work on Academic Council, the Office of the Provost has provided us with fall 2021 calendar options. And we thought that great to send this to the faculty and the Academic Council, but even better to send it to you guys since you'll all be living through it. We do have a pretty thick agenda today, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, but if you pull up that PDF, which I've linked, there are 4 options, really only 3. We were in communication with the provost today, and she said she included option 1 just to be the standard Notre Dame calendar that we're all used to. Classes beginning on a Tuesday, fall break halfway through the semester, Thursday being last class day, and then 3 reading days followed by 5 exam days. That's the classic, but they're not considering that one. What they are considering is option 2, option 3, option 4. I will give you guys a brief rundown of each. Option 2 is very, very similar to the classic option, except classes start on Monday instead of Tuesday. We actually had some great institutional knowledge given to us by BC, our advisor, that it used to be Tuesday because people would actually like in-person register for their classes on the little Scantron on Monday, but now we DART or Novo, whatever it is, not necessary anymore. So by starting on Monday, that gives us not 3, but 4 reading days. Very exciting stuff. So that's a little minute change. 3 and 4 present slightly different changes. Again, 3 and 4 both begin on that Monday. The last class day is alternatively a Wednesday or a Tuesday. The differences are very subtle between 3 and 4. I'll let you guys analyze those on your own time, but basically the spirit is let's have a few reading days and then take those exams, and then some more reading days and then those exams. That way students aren't always in the mindset of study, 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 exam, exam, exam. So I have provided this handy dandy little Google form for you all. Once you've thought it over a little bit, perhaps talked with your constituents about it. Again, they're trying to make this decision soon, so I would recommend you fill out this survey within the next 48 hours, 24 preferably. Just let me know your 3 options, number 1, number 2, number 3. You can either just submit those or provide a little bit of commentary about why you or your constituents prefer that one. But this is a really cool opportunity to be able to affect change on a semester you will all be living through, and I will not, which makes me super sad. But I hope you guys make it the best one through this new schedule. Okay, so without further ado, fill out that survey as soon as you can, but of course, garner feedback as well. Letter D is submitting nominations for the Student Union Awards. I sent out a follow-up to you all, I believe, Tuesday morning. If you are interested in nominating your favorite professor, your favorite faculty, staff, student leader, great opportunity to do so. And we have, after today, 3 meetings left. And at one of those 3 meetings, we will be bringing those nominations forward. And it's very exciting because you all get to vote on who receives those awards so you can advocate for your favorite candidate. So I would encourage you to do that. Yes, very important. Thomas Davis made this due at noon on Friday. So would recommend getting it in perhaps tomorrow, or if you have an easy Friday morning, that works too. And then our final exciting announcement provided by Julia Dilhoff and Kurt Goulden is we have our Hall of the Year presentations coming up, not this weekend, but next. Oh, look at you guys. I see that you're writing your names in here as we speak. Amazing. If you all sign up for 2, then it's equitable and we don't have people overworked. But I do believe that we are required to have 2 senators at each Hall of the Year presentation. So I would highly encourage you guys to sign up for at least 2 slots. This will be maximum 40 minutes of your time, and you get to learn about other halls and the cool things that they have been up to this year. So again, you can just pick any 2 time slots that work well for your schedule, either on Saturday or Sunday. The only thing we ask is do not sign up for your own dorm. That is not allowed, but you can sign up for like your brother dorm or your best friend's dorm. Dorms that are of interest to you. Okay, sweet. So that is enough from me. And I will hand it over to the lovely Ricardo and also, I believe his successor is with him, Maddie, and they are both looking very dapper. Oh, Aaron already has it pulled up. A CCC presidential presentation. Oh, sure, Michael. Yeah, that sounds amazing. Do I hear a second? All right, let's vote on that. All in favor? And I will be in favor too. And all opposed. Okay, fabulous. I love it, Michael Murakami. Keep us accountable.
Is this working? Hello?
Hello?
Okay. Seems to be working. Do you guys have a clicker or anything like that? Hopefully it works. Thank you. You may have to click it like on the presentation, so just give it a click. There it is. Thanks. So howdy, everyone. Oh, I hope that is not too loud. Is that a little better? Okay, cool. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. As I was walking over, I realized with some trepidation that I'm actually not wearing any green, but I do want to point out that green is the combination of blue and yellow. So in a way, I am. I'm Ricardo. I'm the president of the CCC. Hopefully, you know me. If you don't, this is who I am. And this is Maddie. I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Maddie. I'm the CCC president-elect for next year.
Yeah, and we're going to be presenting specifically on winter reallocations and the spring reallocations. We have a pretty packed meeting, so we're going to try to be brief. And we will ask that you limit questions to the end of our presentation. I know we may not have as much time for questions as we would like, and you guys should definitely have questions about this. This is like more than 40% of the annual student union budget. This is very important work. But if you do have questions that we cannot address here, I'm going to be around after the meeting for a little while, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. And you can always shoot CCC@nd.edu an email, and I will be very sure to give you some prompt attention on that matter. So, winter reallocations and spring reallocations. Last semester, I presented at length about what those 2 processes are. I want to draw your attention to the fact that one of them is handled by myself, winter reallocations, and the next one is going to be handled by Maddie, spring allocations. Instead of giving you guys halfway of the process, we thought it would be best to allow the both of us to be here to give you a full description of what this process is going to look like, what winter allocation was like, and what spring allocations is going to be like. So you get 2 CCC presidents for the price of 1. As Hannah Montana would sing, you get the best of both worlds. So let us dive straight into the CCC.
Okay, so a little bit about who we are. We are part of the student union, and our main goal on campus is to help clubs succeed. And we do this through a variety of ways, most notably through funding, help funding clubs. But we also do club consulting, event programming, and shameless plug, we have our Instagram up there. And if you guys don't follow us, you should. but we also do a lot of we help promote club events through our Instagram as well. And we also have a website that we keep up to date with stuff that is useful for clubs and relevant to what's going on with the CCC at the time.
This semester, we have a number of policies in place that are carried over from the spring semester, from the fall semester. Again, this is an effort to ensure that clubs are supported and we are as flexible as possible to ensure that we are not unduly penalizing clubs for things that are outside of their control. In other words, the COVID pandemic. First of all, very important to highlight that we are not making dues mandatory this year. We are not requesting dues be mandatory and penalizing clubs that do not collect these dues in their spring allocations. Again, this is a method to try to be more flexible for these clubs. Second of all, we have been very thorough and meticulous in instructing clubs to collect any money they collect via club PayPal or student shop account. Both of these processes can be set up with SAO, so they are technically outside of our purview. But it is very important that any clubs you're involved in or any clubs you know are collecting money through those mediums in order to ensure that money distribution is safe and we're not further propagating the virus in so doing. When it comes to alternative sources of funding, I know I presented on this at length last semester, so I'm just going to briefly tell you all that we have a very comprehensive website that is fully listing these options for the benefit of clubs, and in the case you should be interested in them for your own interest as well. And I would like for you to, if you have a couple of minutes at some point over the next few weeks, you can go ahead and dive into those at your own leisure.
Okay, so starting with winter reallocations, this is kind of like a form of supplemental funding for clubs. For the spring semester, say if they had some sort of unexpected expenses come up for the spring, if this was a normal year, take for example like an athletic club team, they could have made it to a playoff tournament that they didn't budget for, so they can apply for additional funding for the spring semester. We do have a couple clubs that did this. This happened a couple weeks ago. Yeah, but we have not nearly as many clubs do this as we do for spring allocations, which we will get into in a second.
But before we do that, let's dive a little deeper into what winter reallocations looked like this semester. Now, winter reallocations are a component of the FMB's winter spending review. Minu, correct me if I'm getting the terminology wrong. But essentially, clubs receive a 40% amount of the money that is to be distributed during that process. As is commensurate with constitutional mandates specified in student union fiscal policy. Thomas, you're somewhere, correct me if I'm wrong. In order to carry out this process this semester, we began with spring CIMs, which are again a medium by which clubs can acquire the information they need to participate fully in this process. We do make attendance mandatory to ensure that all clubs have access to this important information. This spring's CIMs were eminently successful. We had a far higher turnout than we have had in CCC recorded history, with over 95% of clubs showing up during the spring CIMs, which is a huge plus. We've received a lot of positive feedback on the virtual and asynchronous medium by which we are conveying this information. And we're pretty certain we're going to be doing that for the rest of the semester and perhaps even into the future. It seems to afford clubs the flexibility they need. That was the first step of the process. The second one involved the various CCC divisions meeting with the clubs requesting funding in order to check every single line item that was being requested through the CCC budget sheet. Once we perused those requests on a divisional by divisional basis, we made a full inventory of them. And we found that, as is usual for winter reallocations, we had few enough that we could simply convene to discuss them as a council without necessarily having to delve into interdivisional reviews to make sure that all of those were properly formatted and carried on through. We did that precisely during the larger primary winter reallocation meetings, which involved the entire CCC, and in which we delved into each one of these budgetary requests in the due detail that they all and each one deserve. The final amounts that we saw for this round of winter reallocations were that we received just north of $62,000 to distribute to clubs, of which just under 10,000 were requested by clubs after the tier system and the expenses minus revenues system were applied as I described last semester. This means that we have a very high amount of money remaining after winter reallocations. This is typically the case for winter reallocations. We typically have funding left over, although this is of course about 3 times as much as we have had in the past. We believe this is the result of the general trend we've seen this year, in which clubs are requesting less money than they have in years past. As is usual for CCC in the spring, this remainder shall be directly allocated to the CCC contingency fund, from which we expect it to go directly back into the spring allocations process, which, Maddie?
Okay, yeah, so spring allocations, this is kind of the main process that we go through to give clubs funding for the following school year. And the CCC does require that in order for a club to be eligible to receive funding for the next school year, they participate in this process. And yeah, we get upwards of $2 million in funding requests every year, which is a lot of money. And we go through every single club that submits a budget sheet. We go through everything on their budget sheet. We have a lot of different sets of eyes look at everything to make sure that clubs aren't requesting, I don't know, ridiculous amounts of money, or everything just looks like it makes sense for the club's mission and everything. So it's a very, very long process. It's going to take place over the next month, which Ricardo is going to get into. But that's part of our work as a CCC. One of the main roles that I mentioned earlier was providing club funding. So that's what we do.
Indeed. So new exec and old exec met together to discuss a tentative timeline for the spring allocations process, which, unlike winter reallocations, is only about to begin. We're going to commence with the SAMs, the spring allocation meetings, which are these general meetings in which we distribute all required information for the spring allocation process directly to clubs. The medium, again, is going to be the same we used for the spring CIMs, at which we recorded record levels of turnout. And we expect a lot of clubs to participate in this meeting as well. The big SAMs are not just that, they include as well the CCC elections. So we're also going to be having elections in parallel with this process. The SAMs have the budget sheet on the CCC's website, and clubs will directly download this budget sheet and submit it to their respective divisions after filling it out and consulting with their advisor to make sure that the budget sheet reflects the mission and the projected program of the club. Once this is achieved, all of these clubs requesting funding are required to meet with their division. At least 2 CCC members have to be present at these meetings per division. And we just do this to ensure, first of all, that the rationale for every single expense that is being requested and projected by clubs exists and is, again, commensurate with the club's mission, purpose, and agenda for the following year. Every single line item. We also ensure that every single line item is properly tiered, again, reflecting back to the CCC tier system, which I described at my previous presentation, in order to make sure that that is carried on through and reflected within the budget sheet, and hopefully to squash any random bugs that seem to be prone to appear in convoluted and very, very complex Excel sheets, such as the CCC budget sheet. Next of all, we have the interdivisional review process, which essentially involves, as I described, the divisions looking at the work of each other. We do this for a variety of reasons, the most important which is to ensure that fairness and equitability are the same throughout all 6 divisions. Again, just to make sure that every single club is being funded in a fair and equitable manner. Finally, once all this is done, again, takes place over about a month of time, we have the big CCC spring allocation meeting, the primary spring allocation meeting, which is, in my opinion, and as far as I know, the longest and certainly the most difficult meeting in the student union. Again, in previous years, it has taken place over a single day in which we convened at about 9 in the morning, and it would not be surprising that we left at 10 p.m., 11 p.m., 12 p.m., just ridiculous, absolutely inhumane. As a matter of fact, 2 years ago, I was the secretary in the CCC, and I had to record minutes for one such meeting, which lasted about 13 hours. I wrote about 50 pages of work, so I empathize with you. It is difficult work. Rather than doing that during my tenure, we decided to split the primary allocation meetings into 2 distinct meetings in order to make sure that we can be a little more humane in how we're treating our own members. We saw big success with that. People were far more engaged. People were far more responsive. And I think we will be doing the same thing this year as well. Finally, once all that process is completed, we have the opportunity of releasing these decisions, which typically happens later on during the summer in time for the fall 2021 semester. We just want to close out this presentation by emphasizing ND Day. Get hype. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be awesome. It's a huge opportunity for clubs to receive a lot of very important funding. And it is incredibly important that if any of your constituents come to you with questions about ND Day, you are as helpful as you can. And if you have any lingering questions about what that is or how that looks like or how clubs can be assisted in making sure that they capitalize upon this opportunity as much as possible, then you certainly direct them to us. We actually collaborated with ND Day in gathering enormous amounts of feedback for them via the spring CIM process. We were able to pass that on directly to the ND Day team. It has been a pleasure working with them, and we can certainly help any clubs that seek out assistance, so please direct those to us. We just want to close out by, first of all, thanking you for listening to us, and by being, again, as insistent as possible that we have every intention of being as transparent, clear, and I guess honest in the method in which funding is distributed to clubs. And again, I know we don't have a lot of time for questions given the packed agenda, but if any should surface we're not able to address, our contact information is on the board, ccc@nd.edu. Please email us and we will be sure that we give you the attention you deserve. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ricardo and Maddie. We do have about 5 minutes for questions if anyone has any that are immediately coming to mind, but also really appreciate all of the in-depth contact info provided. Any pressing questions any folks have at this time? All right, seeing none, another round of applause for Ricardo and Maddie. Awesome job. And always available via email or Zoom. Fabulous. Okay, so, oh, thank you, Ricardo. Item B is more of a formality than anything. As you all know, we had a change in the CLC bylaws, I believe 2 weeks ago, which feels like a lifetime ago at this point, but it was just 2 weeks ago. And therefore, we are slightly changing the Senate representation on the CLC. So in accordance with the new bylaws, we need to have a new election of Senate representatives to the CLC. I believe how this will work is that since the new bylaws say we will have one Senate representative from a female dorm or a women's dorm and one representative from a men's dorm, we will have 2 of our lovely senators currently serving decide to run, and our 3rd senator who is serving for the remainder of our term, which is exactly 3 weeks, everyone. Isn't that crazy? We will be appointing the remaining senator as Rachel's presidential nominee. So I will now ask who would like to run for the CLC? Isabella and Ben, fabulous. I do, oh, and Ricardo. Yes, what's up? I do believe so. Yes, it is an open election. Yeah. You're not from a men's dorm. That is the thing. That's what I'm just thinking. So no, yes. So I do not believe, although you are a Senate representative and we do adore you, Ricardo, you don't represent a men's dorm. So that is the spirit. Yes, of course. Of course. Thank you, Ricardo. Okay, so we have Ben and Isabella and Eliza. What's up? Would you also like to run at this time? Okay, wonderful. Madison will prepare a Google form. And would you guys like to say any words at this time, Ben, Isabella, or Eliza? Yes.
Yeah, the CLC's term is through commencement, so. Okay, but that's just from our side of things, that is how we envision. Anyway, thank you.
Sweet, thanks, Ben. All right, Isabella or Eliza, would you like to say some words?
Hi guys, I'm Isabella. It's been a real delight getting to meet the members of the CLC this year. Getting to work very closely with members of the team, whether it be different things around with Aaron, or just getting to work within the local community and work on issues pertinent to campus life has been really an excellent opportunity to work with you, with the people who we touch every day with the legislation that comes to this body. Yeah, it's just been a really excellent delight for me to be able to experience that. I really enjoyed doing it so far. I hope you'll consider electing me to finish up the rest of the term, because it's just been a really great time, and I think that we've made some important strides, and I hope to be able to help make some more.
Thanks so much, Isabella. All right, Eliza, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, I would love to. I want to first say thank you as well for all your great work and just invite you to finish any of your work or guidance ceremony because I simply was bringing up this idea as a way to, with the ever-changing situation, I don't, it would be disrespectful to request a change in my representation in order to bring up more conversations and specific conversations that I try to engage with this and things such as minority voices, things such as religions, races, sexualities, genders, and etc. And being a person of color, but also being bisexual, I think that having those varying voices and having those backgrounds to those can also help prepare us for the changes that are to come in the next couple of years with things such as parenting, so that is my thought process.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Eliza. I guess we can begin with the vote for the representative from a men's dorm. We have one candidate who is Ben Earhart. I believe we could just do a simple hand vote for this one. All in favor of Ben, raise your hand. All opposed? All abstaining? Okay, thank you for your service, Ben, and we look forward to continuing to work with you. Really appreciate it. All right, and I believe that Madison has just pasted a voting link in the agenda for the female dorm representatives, and we will just give it, oh, I don't know, 30 seconds for you all to discern and cast your vote. All right, folks, we'll give it about 5 more seconds. Okay, fabulous. We look forward to continuing to work with Isabella Garcia, but we really do appreciate the interest in the position and everyone's hard work going forward. So thanks so much to everyone who ran, and we look forward to working with Ben and Isabella for the remainder of the term and until commencement. All right, we can move on to item C, which is SO 2021-23. Which is an order to amend the constitution of the undergraduate student body to establish the Nancy J. Walsh Irish Clover Award. I know that Aaron Benavides is very excited, and he believes we have set a record in terms of the number of co-sponsors on this resolution. The entire first page is just people who have co-sponsored this. So very exciting stuff. I do believe that we have a special lady that has joined us on Zoom. Hello, Nancy Walsh. Can she be pinned?
I think so. Let's see. In the second screen? No.
Oh, that's all right. We can see her well enough. Hello, Nancy. Can you hear me? Nancy, I believe you're muted.
Can she hear?
Very exciting stuff. I do believe that we have a special lady that has joined us. I hate the sound of my voice. Hello, Nancy Walsh. Can she be pinned? Okay. All right.
She still has the YouTube.
All right. We can see her well enough. Hello, Nancy. Can you hear me? Oh, dear God.
I can.
Nancy, I believe you're muted. Oh, dear God. Okay. Well, I believe we will just start.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Aaron's gonna read the order.
She may not have heard you the first time.
Hello, Nancy Walsh.
Can you hear me now?
It says I'm not muted.
Okay, all right.
I'll come back. I'll come back.
Hello, Nancy, can you hear me?
Dear
I
God.
can.
I believe you're muted.
Oh,
We'll
no.
give her some time.
Okay.
Rachel's been communicating with her, so I think Rachel will tell her to close out the YouTube and then hop back on so we don't have that horrible echo. To give
Oh,
you
goodness gracious.
a little bit of a
Okay.
background, she was told that Rachel was giving the State of the Student Union, so I don't think she knows yet what's going to happen.
This is a total surprise for her, so our
I'm back
apologies.
again now.
Oh, yes. Okay. Nancy, can you hear me live in living color?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. Beautiful. Now we are all set. We have a special order that we would like to read for you. And I believe that Aaron will be doing the honors. Does that sound all right?
Yeah. I thought I was listening to Rachel's State of the Union.
Yes, that perhaps might have been a bit of a mirage, but I hope you'll look forward to what's happening next.
Well, I'm seeing all of you. Of course I am.
All right. Senate Order 2021-23, an order to amend the Constitution of the undergraduate student body to establish the Nancy J. Walsh Irish Clover Award. Whereas Nancy J. Walsh has served as the student government secretary for 26 years. Whereas Nancy works in service to the student union and its members with an unwavering commitment to its work and the student body. Whereas this year in particular, despite the COVID-19 pandemic, Nancy continued to attend department meetings, connect with students, meet with fuelers, executive cabinet directors, student union officers, and countless other individuals. Whereas Nancy serves with an unwavering spirit of love, sincerity, generosity, kindness, conviviality, and wit, and is a light to every person she encounters on this campus. Whereas Nancy's service to the students of the University of Notre Dame extends far beyond the student union and has benefited the student body at large. Therefore, be it ordered by the Student Senate of the University of Notre Dame du Lac that the Constitution of the undergraduate student body pursuant to Section 1.4 of the same is hereby amended as follows. Article 17, Section 1 is hereby amended. The Irish Clover Award is given to 2 outstanding members of the Notre Dame community for exemplary service to the student body. Each year, 1 recipient shall be a student or alumnus, and the other shall be faculty, staff, or an administrator. The Irish Clover Award given to faculty, staff, or an administrator shall be named the Nancy J. Walsh Irish Clover Award in honor of Student Government Secretary Nancy J. Walsh. The Student Senate shall choose the recipients of the Irish Clover Award each term.
Oh my God. I'm so touched. Thank you. Thank you.
And Nancy, I do believe that this is a order co-sponsored by, if I'm not mistaken, 34 individuals.
I'm just, oh, you guys know I do this because I love it. And being with all of you makes me so happy every single day. Thank you.
Well, we love you, Nancy.
I love you all. I do. I don't feel like, I feel like that's my reward, is being with all of you every day. This is so unnecessary, but so kind. I'm so touched. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Maybe we should vote and do the
Yes,
thing.
absolutely. Well, we will now open up the floor to any questions that anyone may have about this order, which can be directed at any of the co-sponsors. Isabella. All right, we can vote on that. All in favor and all opposed? Okay, we have now entered a debate on this order. Would anyone like to raise a point of debate? Isabella Garcia. All right, we can vote on that. All in favor and all opposed? Okay, wonderful. We have entered into a vote on SO 2021-23. All in favor and all opposed? Fabulous. Nancy, the order has passed. Yay.
Thank you.
We hope this has accomplished your dream of having your name in the constitution of the undergraduate student body.
So if the dementia comes and I don't remember, it's still there, right?
You are forever constitutionalized, Nancy.
I'm so touched and I'm so surprised. And you guys are the best. You're the best before you did this, always. But thank you. I can't wait to be back with everybody in the fall.
Yes, we are all so looking forward to it, Nancy. Your presence lighting up the office once more.
Thank you. My chair will be waiting for everybody to come in and sit.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Well, so good to see you virtually, Nancy.
Thank you. Thank you again so much. You don't know how my job is my whole world. So thank you.
Awesome. We love you, Nancy.
I love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. My God.
Okay, fabulous, everyone. Thank you so much for your support in that endeavor. I think it's going to mean the world to Nancy to have the very first Nancy J. Walsh Irish Clover Award named at a meeting in the upcoming future. So really looking forward to that. And I know it's been a weird year in the sense that Nancy normally sits in the student government office every day, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, has not been able to do so because of COVID. But she's done a really tremendous job with Zooming with all our cabinet members, with the fuelers. I know she doesn't play as big of a role in Senate, but she's just a lovely individual, as I'm sure you could tell. And I know a lot of you plan to continue to be involved in the student union for years to come. So I hope you'll be able to get to know Nancy a little bit better because she really is a joy. So thank you all so much. Next, we can move to SS 2021-30, which is a resolution addressing consistency in the dining hall accommodations for students with severe allergies. And I can invite Ian, Izzy, Patrick, Eliza, anyone who'd like to present to come on down. Oh, awesome. We got a tag team. Yes, indeed. Wonderful. Oh, yes. Yes, go for it, guys. Beautiful. You have to flip it on the top. Beautiful, there it is.
Is it on now? Okay, yeah. Wow, it's so fun to do this in person. I just want to introduce the resolution, and then Eliza's going to present it, and all questions can be directed to her. This was kind of her body of work, and it's great that she did this, and I'm really glad that we can finally get a vote on it. So this is a resolution addressing consistency in dining hall accommodations for students with severe allergies. Izzy and Eliza and I had and Patrick, we all had several conversations with Chris Abayasinge over at Campus Dining about this issue. And I feel that what we've come up with is kind of a productive way to hold Campus Dining accountable, in Chris's own words, for them to maintain the changes that they've been implementing. So without further ado, Eliza.
Thanks so much, Ian. So I think the easiest way to do this, instead of getting a summary, I'm just going to read it. So whereas Notre Dame students are required to live on campus for 3 years, and during that time, they are required to purchase a meal plan and thus will eat in the dining halls for the majority of their time at the university. Whereas cross-contamination between dishes is likely and to be expected in communal eating areas, especially with the buffet-style serving mechanism that utilize tongs, scoops, and serving spoons. Whereas the instances of cross-contamination using communal serving tools pose a danger to students with severe allergies, especially those with gluten, dairy, and nut aversions. Whereas many peer institutions have removed all nuts from menu items due to concern of contact and accidental ingestion. Whereas dining hall employees are trained to provide students with allergies with specialized tools, but the tools remain inconsistently available and workers and students are often uninformed on where to go to get them. Whereas the hot boxes in the dining halls for allergen meals differentiate and labeling, meal preparation, and caution based on severity of student allergies. Whereas the Department of Student Life has a strong working relationship with campus dining, in the past efforts of campus dining team to address the Department of Student Life and its constituents' concerns for those needing accommodations over the 2020 to 2021 academic year have been seen and appreciated. Whereas the campus dining team implemented a lock and key system over the most recent winter break to close off allergen sections of the dining hall to students without allergies or dietary restrictions. Whereas the campus dining team is currently vetting vendors and systems to modify the lock and key system into a more permanent and more convenient swipe access system for students with allergies or dietary restrictions. Whereas more can be done to create a safe eating environment for all students. Resolved. Notre Dame campus dining should promote and prioritize the health of students with severe allergies and address the concerns of students with dietary restrictions by fulfilling the student Senate's recommendation to do at least the following: regularly and consistently and easily providing special serving spoons, tongs, and ice cream scoops to those with allergies by request, including nutrition information, ingredients, and allergen resources for retail locations on campus on the campus dining website. Further training all dining hall employees of options available to students with dietary restrictions, such as these requests and changing of gloves. Removing nuts from recipes served in the general service lines and only providing prepackaged nuts or butters for consumption. Treating every specifically prepared meal for a student with allergies or dietary restrictions equally in preparation through the removal of the different labeling of these hot boxes. I don't know if anyone's going to have a question on this, but that last point, essentially, if you have an allergy meal at Notre Dame and you sign the contract, there are 2 hot boxes hidden behind the kitchen, which students either get it or someone retrieves it for you in North Dining Hall. And they have labeling as to say the allergen meals. And as of like 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, they would be labeled as allergy meals and severe allergy meals. The difference between the two may seem subtle to those without allergies, but by creating in preparation a labeling that says something is severe versus one is not, can cause issues of more cross contamination, in which we have seen in the past. And there is a miscommunication on who deserves to be in that service or severe allergy hot box. So the changing in which Chris had agreed, we will change that to simply say a more inclusive way of just saying allergy meals. So there you go.
Fabulous. Thank you guys for that presentation and explanation. We'll now open the floor to any questions that folks may have. Yeah, Danny. All right, let's vote on that. All in favor and all opposed? Okay, wonderful. We've now opened our debate. Would anyone like to raise a point of debate on this resolution? Grace? All right, we can vote on that. All in favor and all opposed? Okay, we have now moved into a vote on SS 2021-30. And once again, I'll ask all in favor and all opposed? Okay, fabulous work, Department of Student Life. I think this will be a great partnership with campus dining going forward. And I think we're just going to keep the accommodations ball rolling. So we'll do SS 2021-31, which is in a bit of a different vein, a resolution advocating for increased transparency in the nutritional accommodations process. And we'll just keep the Ian and Eliza show going.
Yeah, so different, but the differentiation is important. As for accommodations tend to run through a different office, and that's CRB, Office for Disability Services. No? Oh, the nutritional team. Okay, yes. But we spoke with Josie Antonelli, who's a campus nutritionist, about this issue a lot. And she gave us the recommendations that we wanted for this resolution. We also have several graphics that we're providing her, so she can provide that to first year students next year via email when she reaches out. So we're really excited about that. Again, just a lot of Eliza's really hard work and good ideas coming to fruition in this resolution. So.
Okay, so I'm just going to read the resolved part and not the whereas, and then do a quick little explanation if I feel the need there is. So resolve the campus dining nutritional counseling team, referred to hereafter as the team, should increase its transparency with the student body regarding the accommodations process for students with severe allergies or dietary restrictions by taking action, including but not limited to the following: sending an informational email to all incoming first years and transfer students before they arrive at the university that includes an introduction from the team, a copy of the food allergy and medical condition action plan, and links to previously mentioned infographics if applicable. Provide an explanation or infographic visualization of the step-by-step accommodation process, clearly making it accessible and explaining the resources available for all students who request accommodations before signing the action plan's binding contract for the academic year. Providing students with a list of options, ideas, or solutions to their dietary needs if they are denied accommodations for their allergies or dietary restrictions, including an explanation of the appeals process. Providing a comprehensive allergen guide to all students, including those who do not sign the action plan, which would include all detailed allergen information about every food served in the dining hall on campus, as well as information on cross-contamination efforts and external resources to learn about dietary restrictions. These infographics are completed and they were done by our co-director, Izzy, and which I think she's on Zoom right now.
She is indeed.
You want me to show them? I have them on my computer.
Sure, Izzy.
Okay. Can I share my screen? Is that?
Aaron is the tech master and is doing that right now. All you, Izzy.
All right. So this is our first one. This is our infographic for students who are unable to get accommodations or who just choose to live on a restricted diet. So it just details how to navigate the dining halls, the allergen cards, alternatives to the specially prepared meal options. So like if you don't want to have meals that are prepared for you at a specific time every day, other things that you can do, and then other outside resources, and then also some of the responsibilities that are outlined in the food and medical condition action plan, just so that students are aware of their responsibilities. And then I will share my other one really quick. This is, oops. Got to open it first, sorry.
No, that first one was really beautifully done, Izzy.
Sorry, I'm like really technology challenged, but this should have been Ian's job.
All is well.
Okay, here's the other one. If you can see it. So it's getting started. So this would be what we would send to first year transfer students so that they have a brief overview of what the nutritional accommodations process is like. So the step-by-step, these are the steps that were provided to us by Josie, the things that she works through with every single student. So it's just a little overview that they can look at before they have to sign anything so that they understand what the process is. So those are our two graphics. If anyone wants to see them further, I'm happy to send them around.
Oh, that's fabulous. A way to communicate to the incoming students. Love it, guys.
Yeah, and then I just want to say, by passing this resolution, if you choose to do so, it will be able to have a continued relationship with Campus 9 and the nutritional team, and be able to accommodate the influx of allergens and dietary restrictions requests that the nutritional team has done, and help them realize that the student government also realizes those are concerns that we need to face every day.
Beautiful. All right, so we will now open it up for questions for Eliza, Ian, Izzy, anyone involved. Anyone? Bueller? All right, Ben? Okay, I hear that second. Let's vote on that. All in favor and all opposed? Okay, we have now moved into a debate. Would anyone like to raise such a point? Ben? Great, okay, all in favor of that? And all opposed? Wonderful. We have now entered a vote on SS 2021-31. And once more, I will ask you, all in favor? And all opposed? Okay, well, there we have it. Another unanimous resolution to a pair from Student Life. We appreciate you, Ian, Izzy, Eliza, and Patrick. These are going to be really helpful tools for incoming students or current students who just need to navigate the dining hall a little bit better with nutritional accommodations. So amazing work, guys. Oh, thank you so much, Erin. All right, without further ado, we're really flying along. We can move on to letter F, which is SS 2021-32, a resolution requesting the reinstallation of the basketball rims to the bookstore basketball courts at the University of Notre Dame. Danny Skirmerhorn is coming down in his very snazzy Student Senate sweatshirt. I love that you're repping. I look forward to the resolution.
All right, I'll try to make this as quick as I can, but before I start, I just want to say that this is probably something that West Quad and all of Notre Dame has been looking forward to, trying to bring back the basketball rim. So hopefully this passes and the administration actually acts on it. So it's a resolution requesting the reinstallation of the basketball rims to the bookstore basketball courts at the University of Notre Dame. Whereas the University of Notre Dame currently holds in its campus compact rules and restrictions that are meant to ensure the physical health and well-being of all members of the campus community. Whereas before the return to campus in August 2020, all rims on the bookstore basketball courts were removed in order to discourage students from participating in unsafe practices that could lead to the spread of the COVID-19 virus. Whereas SS 2021-14 stated the COVID-19 pandemic can exacerbate negative experiences with mental health, such as feelings of loneliness, isolation, anxiety, and depression. Whereas a recent McDonald Center for the Student Wellbeing survey showed that 82% of students are somewhat concerned or more for their emotional well-being during the fall 2020 semester, whereas the CDC recommends that regular physical activity for all affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, especially in individuals that are at higher risks for anxiety or depression. Whereas researchers at the Mayo Clinic have proven that in enclosed spaces with poor ventilation, the COVID-19 virus can spread when a person is exposed to small droplets or aerosols that stay in the air for minutes to hours. When you're outside, fresh air is constantly moving, dispersing these droplets. Whereas the University of Notre Dame has used CDC guidelines as a basis for the university's COVID-19 policies and therefore should also adhere to the CDC policies that promote mental wellness. Whereas the Division of Student Affairs has recently announced that rec sports, intramural, and club practices may resume both outdoors and indoors. A professional staff member or student manager must be present at all scheduled practices. Therefore, if proper mask wearing policies are followed, the administration is open to outdoor group activities. Whereas, while observing proper mask wearing and with proper here supervision, the bookstore basketball courts offer an outdoor and safe outlet for students to exercise, as well as discouraging unsafe practices in dormitories and off campus. So resolve, the Student Senate of the University of Notre Dame du Lac formally requests that the University of Notre Dame reinstall the basketball rims to the bookstore basketball courts at the University of Notre Dame. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Danny. I'll now open the floor for any questions for Danny or his co-sponsors. It's Bella. Was that, Ricardo was shaking his hand. I did hear a second. Ricardo, would you mind bringing up that question in debate? Okay, cool. Let's vote on that then. Okay, fabulous. Like to stick by Parley Pro to a certain extent. Any points of debate that could be phrased as questions? Ricardo.
I think this is a fantastic resolution that addresses a very important need on campus. But at the same time, if this is to be successful, we do have to know that the university has resources available to staff those courts with people who can enforce them or procure some other method of making sure that mask wearing guidelines and policies are adhered to. I don't fully know parliamentary procedure, but can I ask who sponsors a question of sorts? Like, I just want to know if you have spoken with rec sports personnel or with anyone in the COVID response unit or some other organization here on campus about the feasibility of getting those people to ensure mask wearing policies are followed.
Yes. Well, rec sports is actually allowing indoor practices right now in Loftus. They're allowing lacrosse and soccer to practice on the Loftus field. So I feel like if they're allowing indoor practices, that for contact sports as well, that they should allow an outdoor because it's much safer and there's much research to back that. Oh, I actually haven't spoken to them yet, but I'm assuming that there would probably be limited hours because that would probably be in their best interest. But I just want to see that there's more opportunities for students to have exercise and ability to be able to do things like play basketball on campus. So.
Astute observation, Dan. Alec?
Is staffing necessary? I mean, we have open fields where people play spike ball, football, whatever, and there's no staff out there. What's the difference between that and basketball court?
Can I speak on this?
Oh, of course, yes, you can engage.
Yeah, I totally agree with Alec. Just that yeah, on McGlynn Fields or over at the fields on North Quad, like there's always people out there playing football and spike ball, which are very close and contact sports that do not have supervision, mainly probably because they don't have enough people to watch these things, but they're not enforcing us not doing it. So I don't know why basketball would be an exception. Yeah. Oh, I was pointing to Eliza.
Awesome, thank you, Eliza. We'll move to Ricardo.
Ultimately, the point I'm trying to emphasize here is that we need university buy-in for this to happen. You know, we can write this resolution and send it, right? But if there's no buy-in on the side of the university, then it's simply not going to happen. So I think we need a more constructive approach to this, right? A workshopping approach to this, where we can be sure that the university has the resources, which again, I hope it has, in order for this event to happen in a safe way and in a supervised way, right? Health being the top priority. So I think it would make sense to have for this so that it is then utilized in order to try to secure that buy-in, right? So again, I'm in support of this. Just wanted to check whether you had indeed, I guess, reached out to contacts and rec sports and the CRU personnel.
No, very, very constructive comment, Ricardo. Thank you so much. I do see a hand from Dan Law.
Yeah, and I feel like a major goal of the university is to keep students on campus for as much as they can. So I feel like this is just a no-brainer for them to keep students on campus and to keep them from going to the off-campus courts where usually mask wearing and other things like that are not going on.
Great point, Dan. All right, any further comments or points of debate? Eliza. For sure. Thanks for that contribution, Eliza. Isabella. All right, let's vote on that. All in favor? And all opposed? Great, we can move into our formal vote on SS 2021-32. And once again, I will ask all in favor? And all opposed? Wonderful. Okay, really great work on this resolution, Danny and crew. And yeah, really hope that we can have the appropriate staff to make this a reality. I agree with the sunshine coming. This could be a really positive externality on campus. So awesome. Okay, everyone, we can move on to a brief preview of next week. New business we've got coming up, SS 2021-33, which is another Maggie Allen and Michael Murakami duo resolution requesting a formal statement to all university teaching staff regarding mini break classwork. We'll also have a resolution coming out of our Department of Diversity and Inclusion and Partners, which is SS 2021-34, a resolution encouraging the adaptation of the Moreau First Year Experience course to tell a fuller and more inclusive version of the history of the University of Notre Dame. Before we get to announcements, if you guys were all keeping updated in the Senate group chat, I know that Monday was a shock to all in terms of the news that were released. I also know that this might not be everyone's preferred time to have an open dialogue because it's St. Patrick's Day. I personally will commit to sticking around for a little bit if anyone would like to engage in dialogue. In my mind, the purpose of an open dialogue surrounding these events would be, you all are senators. You have the power of legislation to talk in a constructive, productive manner about what you might want to do about it, what you're hearing from your constituents, how you could bring this forward in a formal manner, say next week. I feel like that would probably be the most productive use of time if people want to stick around. Nobody is required to stick around in the slightest. I'll be here, happy to talk with you guys, but just wanted to put that option on the table. So we can now move on to any announcements. Okay, Michael Murakami. Let's vote on that. Okay, enjoy your St. Patrick's Day. If anyone wants to chat, I'll be here, more than happy to do so.